And we're live. PKA. So I went deep in this Reddit rabbit hole today and found an 8-year-old post that this guy created about a dramatic event. And it just sunk in my head and I thought I'd share it. Here we go. Last semester at a certain college, I was assaulted by a football player walking around where he was trying to drive. By the way, it's important that the person telling this story is a guy. He weighs 120 pounds, so I had it wrong for a bit.
Is he really a guy then?
He was 325 pounds. I was 120 pounds. And while unconscious on the ground, I lived a different life. I met a wonderful young lady, and she made my heart skip and my face red. I pursued her for months and dispatched a few jerk boyfriends before I finally won her over. After 2 years, we got married, and almost immediately, she bore me a daughter. I had a great job. My wife didn't have to work outside the house. When my daughter was 2, she bore me a son. My son was the joy of my life. I would walk into his room every morning before I left for work and doted on him and my daughter. One day while sitting on the couch, I noticed that the perspective of the lamp was odd, like inverted. It was still in 3D, but just wrong. It was a square lamp base, red with gold trim on 4 legs, and a white square shade. I was transfixed. I couldn't look away from it. I stayed up all night staring at it. The next morning, I didn't go to work. Something just wasn't right about that lamp. I stopped eating. I left the couch, only to use the bathroom at first, and soon I stopped that too, as I wasn't eating or drinking. I stared at that fucking lamp for 3 days before my wife got worried. She had someone come and try to talk to me. By this time, my cognizance was breaking up, and my wife was freaking out. She took the kids to her mother's house just before I had my epiphany. The lamp isn't real. The house isn't real. My wife, my kids, none of that's real. The last 10 years of my life are not fucking real. The lamp started to grow wider and deeper and still has inverted dimensions. It took upon my entire perspective, and all I could see is red. I heard voices, screams, and all other kinds of weird noises before I became aware of the pain. A fucking shit ton of pain. The first words I said were, "I'm missing teeth," and I opened my eyes. I was laying on my back on the sidewalk surrounded by people that I didn't know. Lots were freaking out. I was completely confused. At some point, a cop scooped me up, walked me across the sidewalk and grass, and threw me into the back of the cop car. I was still confused. I was taken to the hospital by the cop. It seems he didn't want to wait for the ambulance to arrive and given CT scans and shit. I went through about 3 years of horrid depression. I was grieving for the loss of my wife and children and the knowledge that they never existed. I was scared that I was going insane as I would cry myself to sleep, hoping I would see her in my dreams. I never have. But sometimes I see my son, usually just a glimpse out of my peripheral vision. He is perpetually 5 years old, and I can never hear what he says. And then he goes on to talk about it. But basically, this guy got hit by a football player, has 10 years of imaginary memories where he had a wife and kids, and then he came back too. And he goes on to say, I've had personal messages describing similar experiences and 3 posters saying that such experiences are impossible. Yeah, so he's depressed. He lost his wife and kids that he never really had. It just fucking sunk in with me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't believe any of that. And I think even if any of that had happened, he really dodged a bullet by getting out of that whole wife and kids thing.
Also, what a dumb wife to wait 3 days before she was concerned about him staring at a lamp and not eating.
Yeah, maybe she could have pulled you back if she'd knows a little earlier, you dumb fuck. Maybe watch where you're going next time. Nah, I don't believe any of that.
Post history is like the post before it is just be like, hey, can you guys recommend a good junior high school in the area? Like,
I'm checking out his post.
I'm sorry, I don't believe that.
Well, look, it's well written. It's an interesting story, but basically what he's saying is, I got hit. I had a dream. And because it was such a vivid dream, I'm now sad it's not real.
Yes.
We've all had vivid dreams that were sad aren't real. I dreamt I won the fucking World Series. It's not like I woke up and be like, I mourn the loss of my baseball career every day.
Yeah, but what he's describing...
Yeah, I can't pitch.
What he's describing is extreme time dilation, which I don't think is possible to that degree. I think we... Pardon?
Inception. You just got to keep going dream within a dream, and then you're fine.
Essentially, yeah. Like Inception's silly, but the idea of time dilation is a real thing. It's factual. Like I'm sure you've had that thing where you just kind of fell asleep for 10 or 20 minutes, but it seemed like you were having a really long dream. And I think normally we have no idea how long. Like we might have a dream that goes on for a long time that we're doing the dreaming thing, that we're conscious of the dream, but you wake up and you're like, I wonder how long I was actually dreaming. Like if someone was on the outside running a stopwatch, I bet it was different in the stopwatch in my mind. And it is. It absolutely is. But not to the point where lying on the sidewalk before someone can render aid, you experience 10 years of memories. Like does this guy remember any news reports from 10 years of our future? Like is there anything like that? Like of course not. Think so.
Right? No, it's just a memory that's implanted while he was unconscious.
He actually remembered the stock market and what happened with it, and
that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he thinks this really happened, but I think he mourns the loss as if it were real.
Oh, well, that's even sadder if he knows it. Like I was under the impression that he was suggesting that for all intents and purposes, while it wasn't real, he didn't go to another dimension per se, but he did experience these things and therefore they are real, right? Like if you fell in love with a woman, like he had a whole courting process that he described where he had to like win her over and beat out other suitors. And then, 2 children, he's talking about 10 years of memories. I don't buy any of that. It'd be a cool Twilight Zone though.
I stick with what I said. I don't know. I think my interpretation's on target. I think that he woke up, realized it was all just a dream, but it hurt just as much. And
I've experienced that.
I agree with the time dilation point that Kyle made. Like, I've had super vivid dreams. I have a tendency to dream very, very vividly sometimes. And like, I'll wake up and remember the whole fucking thing. And over the course of, probably the last 20 minutes I was sleeping for real, because, you're not dreaming that the whole, 6 hours you're sleeping, or in Kyle's case, 8 to 12. But like the idea of that dream, and maybe a dream might take a couple days. Like I've had dreams where it's happened over the course of a couple days. But 10 fucking years of every moment in that, like I do not think that part's possible.
Yeah. I take a supplement that helps with lucid dreaming, and it actually has worked because almost every night now I have these really intense, cool dreams.
Is it for lucid dreams?
Yeah.
Do you take a supplement so you can have more interesting dreams?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not like a side effect of a supplement for some other reason.
It's a sleep aid, but the whole thing is it's like it says lucid dreams on the front. It's Derek from More Plates, More Dates. It's his company. It's Gorilla Dream, I think is what it's called. I think it's called Gorilla Dream.
The first time I read, when I was a kid, I read about lucid dreams, and in the thing that I read, it talked about how like they realized they were dreaming, so they decided to fly. And that has stuck with me so much that every single time I've ever had a lucid dream, I fly.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the thing I do, because that is so buried in my mind. Like I associate that with lucid dreaming, and I'm never able, as I'm waking up, I go lower and lower. Like I can't fly high. I can only go like maybe 10 feet. And then as I'm waking up, I'm kind of gliding a little bit. Like I can't keep it up. And I realize I'm waking up, and that's how it works. But like I never do anything in lucid dreams but fly. It's ridiculous.
I almost always fly, and I often rape.
I used to have lucid dreams where I could fly. And when I was a kid, I was great at it. And the only thing is you had to like concentrate really hard to fly. That was like the thing. And sometimes I wasn't able to muster that level of concentration, but mostly I could. And as I got older, this is like, up until 10 or 8 or something, I slowly lost the ability to focus enough to fly. And I think like what Peter actually happened was maybe I was copying the story, but in my head, I had this idea that as I learned that you can't fly, that slowly became even my dreams reality.
Interesting. Yeah. And so when I'm having a fully lucid dream, and I mean it's to the point where I have the full where I'm standing there and I say, okay, I am in a dream. I am asleep, but while I'm really asleep in bed, I am in a dream right now. And I can make this like the Matrix if I want to, if I really concentrate. What do I want to do? But sometimes it's in between. It's like, I think I'm in a dream, but I'm not sure. And I need to be sure before I get to raping, because there's going to be consequences. And so like, Steve's not loving this. So I'll pinch myself. But the problem is, at this point, I can feel pain in my dreams now. And so well, she couldn't at first, but if I concentrate real hard, she can.
I'm not.
What?
I refuse for this to be the end. You will not see me laughing at this story at all.
So, I'll pinch myself and I'll try to determine if it's a dream. But the problem is, like, now I'll feel pain and I'll be like, well, that did hurt, but did it hurt like it normally hurts? I don't know. I don't pinch myself a lot in real life, I don't remember what. Yeah. And then I'll be like, well, I need some more serious pain here. So I'll stab myself or bite myself, like really try to hurt myself. And then I'll be like,
shouldn't that be enough of an indication that it's a dream that you're willing to stab yourself?
I need to be sure before I get to raping Taylor. I've been to prison before.
You really dot all your I's and cross all your T's in a situation like this.
Look.
You know what? I was a fool to ask initially. You're right.
Thank you. Go cloacal kiss somebody. You need to be sure.
This whole thing right now is a dream.
It is not a dream. It might be. Because that hurt quite a bit when I pinched myself. I don't know why I didn't mime pinching myself. I literally did pinch myself, and it made no sense. Actually, when I was pinching myself, when I just pinched myself, I didn't feel like it hurt enough, and I was like, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
If I'm dreaming, why would I have Steve on the show? Of all people.
It's a nightmare.
Book someone better.
Yeah. If this were Kyle's dream, it would be Woody and I wouldn't be here. It would be like him, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who else? Who else
4
would be
frames
on here?
of just Kyle.
See, Woody knows. Woody knows.
Kyle 1, that was a fantastic joke, and I loved it. Oh, thank you, Kyle 3. Yeah.